Hi there, everyone. My name is Giovanni, and today I'm going to be talking about my Starfish student. For the sake of their privacy, they're going to be referred to as A. Um, Words that I could use to describe A are kind, sweet, gentle, um, just an overall amazing person. Um, I learned a lot from A. Uh, it's almost kind of difficult to explain, right? The way I feel, but I'm incredibly grateful that I had the chance to interact with A. Um, Jesus, one of my first interactions with them was like earlier in the year. We would be power greeting. This was like early September, middle September, or whatever it was, and so we would be standing over by like the entrance of the building, and across the courtyard would be like the buses, and then the top corner, A would be coming from home to school, right? And so I'd be waving at the bus drivers. I'd be waving my hand, just like, right, just doing whatever to like the crossing guard. And then I would see A coming in, and I would just like wave, right? And it was just one of those things to like, just to like lighten up the mood, right? And so it was just like one of those things that I just did all the time. I did it, you know. And so A would always give me that same love and respect back, which was really cool. And then I remember one of the first things that I remember about A was we were sitting in class too, right? And they would like to have their hoodie up almost all the time, right? And then as time went along, that really wasn't a big deal to me, but to some people it was, and I never really understood that. So like they would get in trouble a lot for having their hoodie up and stuff. But after a while, it was just one of those things where they just felt comfortable with it and they just left it on, right? And the reason I say it wasn't really that big of a deal is that A was incredibly intelligent. A was a hard worker, um, and they would show it in class. But they like to have their hoodie up, so it was what it was, right? Um, and I guess the analogy that I would use to describe my relationship with A was just and like I love trees and stuff, but I would use the analogy of cutting down a tree, right? You and some days I felt like this, right? And the year was incredibly challenging for me and etc. Right? So one day maybe it felt like I would chop once. One day it felt like I could chop 3 or 4 times. One day it felt like I couldn't do anything, and I felt like I was letting my students down, right? Because like I was just stressed. I was tired a lot, right? And so sometimes maybe I didn't get the chop right. Um, but as time went on, as the months went on, my relationship with A um, really grew, right, and blossomed. And I'm just incredibly grateful for that. And it got to the point to where I kept chopping the tree every single day, even if it was little things that I would do that I guess I wouldn't even notice, right? That just meant so much to A, and so I would just keep chopping, until that tree fell down. And once that tree fell, was when they were incredibly comfortable around me, and that's when they would start to open up a lot, right? This happened probably towards the middle of the year when they started to really open up, and it was the same with a lot of my students, right? That first semester, that first 3 4 months was spent really working and working on my relationship with my students, right? And so A was one of them. And then by the time the second semester came, uh, relationships was just, my relationships with my students were just incredibly strong. And A would often come up to me, and they would reveal like a lot of stuff. They felt that they didn't have a lot of support from home. They felt that just overall they didn't have a support system, right? They didn't have people that they could trust, and so that was something that I wasn't really prepared for, as far as like how emotionally draining that would end up being. Uh, and some of the talks that we had, A would sometimes be like, "Hey, could you pull me out of class? Like, I really need to talk. I can't be in this environment right now." And so we would just go down to the library, and in the city room, we would have like a bin full of snacks. And so I'd sometimes grab a snack, and we'd just be sitting there, right? And we just had some of the most uh, like emotional and just like heart wrenching talks, right? Just um, yeah, there were a few times there where like I just broke down, and I just couldn't do it because it was just the stuff that they were telling me was like I couldn't imagine myself in that position. And for that, A is just incredibly strong, and they'll continue being a great person. And as time went on, A just really felt comfortable enough to open up to me. But not only that, right? Like we would go up to gym class and we would have fun. And shout out to Fernie and my twin brother Marcos. They helped me out a lot too, and just I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for the relationship that I built with A. And it really sucks because I wish that I had A next to me and like we were going back and forth, because that's usually what these are. Um, but regardless, I will forever treasure the relationship that I had with A. It means a lot, and um, yeah, no, it just meant a lot. Uh, I sometimes think about like the impact that I've done, uh, the impact that I made on these students, right? And hoping that uh, I have made an impact, and I feel like that I have, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. So, thank you.